What's going on, everyone? MikeO back with a Mail Day recap, a postseason Mail Day recap. Hard to believe that Major League Baseball's regular season is concluded. Man, that year flew by. I know it's been a really busy year for me, so each and every day seems to go so fast, but really enjoyed, obviously, watching and following the Phillies. But as baseball as a whole, seeing some of the teams that exceeded expectations, seeing some of the players who had incredible years. It's a shame that some years were cut short by injury and such. Guys like Ohtani having such a historical season, but definitely excited for the postseason to begin Tuesday. Wild card round is, of course, set. Should be four pretty interesting series. We got Minnesota hosting Toronto. Minnesota trying to get something going in the playoffs. It's been a really long time. They are very due to go on a run. You've got Tampa Bay hosting the Texas Rangers. Rangers are back in the playoffs. The Rays are there once again. So we'll see how things break out there. And then the National League, you have Arizona at Milwaukee. Which could be an interesting series. Arizona really kind of laid down those last 3-4 games of the season, but obviously they're young. They have some incredible talent on that roster. So we'll see how they perform against Milwaukee, who doesn't get a lot of attention, but they have a really good pitching staff and a lineup, an offensive lineup that played and performed pretty well late in the season. We'll see if they can keep that momentum going in the playoffs. And then, of course, the series that I'm most intrigued by, the Miami Marlins visiting the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll see. Definitely thrilled to see the Phillies in the playoffs for the second consecutive year. Miami, man, they had a battle a lot to get in, and those teams that battle to get in, sometimes they can kind of carry it right into the playoffs. Miami won't be intimidated by the Phillies at all. They've actually played very well against the Phillies over the last 10 years or so. Not that teams from 5 years ago have any bearing on this team, just the organizational standpoint. The Phillies, I do believe, won the season series last year from the Marlins, and it was the first time in a while. This year, the Marlins actually won the season series by a game. Most of the games were 1, 2, 3-run games, and that's kind of how Miami plays, but that's how the Phillies play a lot too. A lot of close games. Every now and then they'll have a laugher. So it'll be interesting for sure. Hopefully the Phillies find a way to pull it out. I think the Phillies clearly on paper have the better overall roster, but again, short series, anything can happen. So waiting for it Tuesday night. With all of that being said, let's get into a few of the pickups for the collection here. So we got a few more of these Topps Chrome Platinum refractors. Got a rose gold Trois refractor of Dick Allen. That is serial numbered out of 75. So another nice Dick Allen in the collection. And then a pair of Richie Ashburn Platinum Speckle refractors. These refractors look really good. They're numbered to 150. So a couple of the Ashburns that I won. Just a huge fan of the parallels in this set. Are there too many? I'm sure. No doubt about that. But they are fun to pick up. And I just kind of, every now and then browse, and if I see some, I'll just toss some bids on them or shoot an offer and kind of win what I win. I haven't actually made my master list yet, which I should, but the guys I have duplicates of, I'm not really too worried about having duplicates of. All right, other stuff that has come in recently. Got a few cards for the Topps Now collection, the Topps Now set. I do the Phillies set. I toss it in the binder with my Topps flagship set every year. Kind of a cool little just documentary of the season, some of the bigger moments. Though Topps has been a little more conservative this year with how many cards they put out. I mean, they still put out a ton, but there's been a number of times where I expected a card and they didn't get it. Anyway, here's a Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber passes Rollins for most Phillies leadoff home runs in a season. Schwarber had another really strong year. Batting average not there, but his on-base percentage is. Walks a lot. Scores a lot of runs, knocks in a lot of runs, and hits a ton of home runs. Second in baseball in home runs this year with 47. So, cool Kyle Schwarber Topps Now card. Also, a Bryce Harper Topps Now came in. 6th active player with 1,500 hits and 300 home runs in first 12 seasons. So that's a Harper after his 1,500th hit, which he recorded against the Atlanta Braves. So Another neat one there. Never bad to add a Harper to the collection, so those will be getting tossed in the binder. And then got the bonus. So if you order the preseason set, which is pretty lame this year especially, it was only like 10 cards. Previous years there was a little more, and you had autographs and all kinds of stuff. But I order it just to order it, and then you get bonuses from time to time. I think if the team you purchase is in first place at the end of the first half, you get a card. If they win the division, you get a card. If they advance in the postseason, beyond the division series, they make cards. And then single player performances, cycles, no-hitters, and I think 3 home run games. And the Phillies had 2 of them. They had a cycle from JT Realmuto, and then they had a no-hitter from Michael Lorenzen. So this is an awesome-looking card. Michael Lorenzen tosses no-hitter in first home game with Phillies. Obviously, he had a basic Topps Now card, but this is just a bonus, so very cool. Definitely thrilled to add it. And obviously, they only make like a couple hundred of these, however many sets they made. So happy to get that one in. I have a short print. Here's a Golden Mirror Super Short Print from Topps Series 1 of JT Realmuto. Doing the elbow bump with Bryce Harper. It's a cool card there. The Golden Mirror Super Short Prints are tough to get. Some cases have like 1 in there. Some can have 2 or 3. But, it's 330 cards in each series set. So they're definitely fairly tough to pick up. Sometimes you can, get them at an okay price at auction if people just aren't paying attention. At a certain point, people are looking at other stuff, once the set's been out for a while. Again, the auctions, every now and then, I've bid on auctions where I'm like, all right, maybe this will go for whatever price, and it goes 2-3 times the price. And then other times, they'll go for good prices. So happy to get the Realmuto. So won that one at auction. And then the last few cards, got one football card. This is a 1997 Pinnacle Inscriptions, Drew Bledsoe, Next Level. I think it's called the Challenge Collection, and it looks way better out of that sleeve. That's kind of like a cloudy sleeve. I mean, look at that shine. Look at that just movement. Gorgeous card. Love picking up some of that mid to late 90s, early 2000s football stuff from time to time. Obviously, I don't pick up a ton, not as much as I used to, but every now and then. I mean, this isn't an expensive card at all, but it's one I'm thrilled to have in the collection. So, super cool. Bledsoe, a little football action, and even some non-Phillies, a non-Phillies card. Picked up a Harold Baines signed 2019 Topps Allen and Ginter for the Ginter PC. For those who've been with the channel for a long time, I'm a big fan of signed Allen and Ginter cards. Have not picked up a lot as of late. They just, first of all, obviously just picking up so much other stuff that you can't get everything. But also, some of the Hall of Fame ones, they just, at a certain point, gained some popularity and kind of shot up in price and have become a little tougher to get. So I bought this one raw. At some point, I'd like to get it slabbed, but no rush. It's Harold Baines. It's a cool-looking card. I try and pick up at least one example of as many of the Hall of Famers as I can, and then, just players in general. So happy to add the Harold Baines to the collection. And then the last 2 cards are also Ginter autographs. These are out of Archive Signature Series. First one being Zach Wheeler on the 2021 Allen and Ginter. Numbered 9 of 17. Zach Wheeler stuff sells pretty cheap. I mean, he's really good. He's been very good for the Phillies, generally speaking, especially for his contract. Had a really nice career overall, but, kind of as a pitcher, it's really difficult to do it for a long time and compile the type of numbers to get on that Hall of Fame radar, and he's not going to get there. Had, several setbacks with injuries early in his career, but he's been a really good Philly and a member of the 2022 team, so pretty cool card there. Was able to nab that one. And then the final card is also from Archive Signature Series. This is the Jason Worth. So this is from the retired edition, which just recently came out. The Wheeler is from the active player edition. But Jason Worth had a really nice career, a better career than a lot of people probably remember. He was a huge part of the Phillies' 07 to 2011 run. 2010 was his last year with the Phillies. That was, I want to say, a little bit of a mistake not retaining him. They just couldn't. They had a hard time filling that right fielder's role, solidifying that. Honestly, until Bryce Harper came around like 8 years later. But at the same time, you can't give everyone money. They chose to give the money basically to Cliff Lee, who had a few really good years in his return to Philadelphia and then kind of fell apart the last couple years. Worth, was he a superstar with the Nationals? No, but I think he played a big role in getting that franchise back on track and getting them to where they eventually wanted to be as world champions. His contract was up. He was not part of the world championship team, but I think he helped mold a lot of the players that were part of it. And he played out all 7 years of his contract. It doesn't happen. I remember a lot of people when he signed that contract, this is one of the worst, not even close to one of the worst contracts. They're like 100 worse contracts than what he ended up getting. But here's a cool card. Big member of that 08 team, like I said, world champion. And this is a 2010 Allen Ginter signed by Jason Worth. So happy to add that. So overall, really fun mail day. Looking forward to the baseball playoffs. Hopefully you guys get a chance to watch it, enjoy it. See what kind of moments are made. We'll see what the wild card round brings us. And then, of course, we'll have some huge matchups in the division series as the Houston Astros, perennial contender, team that's in the ALCS virtually every year, in the World Series a ton in recent memory. The Baltimore Orioles, who are back on the map, having the best year in the American League this year, that top seed. The Dodgers, who, again, they're there year in and year out, another close to 100-win season. And then the Atlanta Braves, who are kind of the team to beat in baseball from start to finish this year. Those four teams have byes, and they await the winners of these wild card games to see who they'll be taking on next week. Looking forward to it. October is awesome time for sports. You got NFL on the weekend, and of course the baseball playoffs virtually 5 days a week. Looking forward to it. So comment below, let me know what you think, and I will talk to you next time. Have a great one.